ChatGPT asked her to put 26 syringes.
Oh my god.
I'm like, do you even know what this means? She believed in it 100% and she said, no, this is what I want. Sad to say she's not come back because I
Okay.
refused. I love fillers. But at the same time, every face that comes to me is not a nail just because I have a hammer. You need to understand that every skin is unique. Something that my best friend is using and it's doing miracles for her can cause a really bad reaction on my face. Retinoid, retinate. Don't do it on your own. Sometimes it can backfire. I had a patient who was red the moment we poured the PDRN, a very established Korean product. The face was on fire, completely red. People have to be really educated about this before you just jump and say, oh, let me do a PDRN. You can't.
Correct.
You can't just do it. I did have a girl who applied lime all over her face on all her acne. It took us about 2 years to treat the scarring. The most talked about now is the CO2 laser, right? It can cause a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, not meant for our kind of skin.
At what age should one start Botox?
There are reports of antibodies which develop over a period of time. So I would start
So why does one witness so many pillow faces? And they all land up looking similar.
I think there are two things here.
Dr. Jaishree Sharad is one of India's leading dermatologists. But today, I don't want to only talk about sunscreen, retinol, Botox, fillers, or celebrity skin. I want to understand how Indian skin should be cared for in a world where everyone is doing more, buying more, applying more, and still feeling more confused. Now, we are surrounded by so much of information on social media with people being aware of products and treatments and things like that. How does one navigate through this information overload?
Yeah, you're very right about people being aware. But skin awareness is not equal to skin understanding. You don't understand your skin. You don't know your skin type. You don't know how, skin changes with the climate, with the hormones, with the place that you're in. And just constantly getting influenced by, whether influencers, skinfluencers, doctors, celebrities showing their this is my skincare kind of stuff. You need to understand that every skin is unique. Your skin is very different. Something that my best friend is using and it's doing miracles for her can cause a really bad reaction on my face because my skin is not the same as hers.
Correct.
Right? So that understanding is very, very important. And hence, I think there is the necessity of not getting carried away, but just staying to the basics and maybe one visit to a dermatologist to understand your skin. And then very cautiously, use your products and then try and understand your skin.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you understand your skin type? If it's normal, it's normal. It's very easy. But how do you know that, okay, my skin is oily or it's dry? So in the easiest is the tissue paper test, where in the morning when you wake up, wash your face and after, don't apply anything for an hour. After an hour, just take a thin tissue paper and dab. And if you see that it's fully, not transparent anymore, and if it's all smudgy, your skin is oily because it's produced that much oil. And if it's smudgy in patches, then it's a combination skin type.
Yeah.
So you can understand your skin will always talk to you. And the most important thing is stick to one particular product. So any product will give you its best results when you use it for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks. People will just see one today, after a month, oh, this is not working, let me throw it, buy another one. In fact, for serums, active ingredients, it takes 3 months.
Yeah.
So consistency is very important.
And patience.
Yes, very important. Patience, consistency, knowing your skin type. I think these three are the things. And then, of course, being a little more wise and intelligent that no, let me just First use this product, see how it goes. And if it suited me, why do I want to change it? It suited me. I'm using only one product for the last, I don't know how many years. This is another myth, where people think that it stops working. That's not true. If you have a new anti-aging ingredient, like peptides are the new buzzwords. Actually, I wrote a book chapter on peptides in 2011.
Oh,
So
okay.
So these have been there for a long time. All these peptides,
But they're trending now.
but they're
It's a
trending
buzzword
now.
now,
Yeah. But there are newer peptides. So yes, you can definitely try. And you can do a combination. So don't completely switch. This product has agreed with you for the last 10 years. So let me introduce this new product maybe once a week, then slowly step it up to twice, then 3 times, 4 times, and wean this older one off. If this newer one is really suiting you,
correct,
then it's all right.
So make a smarter move, make an informed decision. Take your skin specialist's advice if need be, and then switch.
Yeah, switch very intelligently.
Now, when we talk about skin, like you had mentioned earlier, that skin talks. That's the title of your book as well. For me, how I look at skin is, hey, it is the largest organ of our body. It also reflects your internal health. So be careful, be mindful, be aware of what your skin is telling you. Pretty much when one speaks about skin, we only focus on facial skin.
As you rightly said, when you say skin, it's considered to be a beauty organ, but actually it is the largest organ of the body. It is, it has an immune function. It's building your immunity. It has a hormone regulatory function. It's regulating some hormones. It's got all these receptors. It's a sense organ.
Yeah.
It's controlling the temperature. It's multifactorial, and it's a very necessary organ in the body. It's also a window to your inner health, right? And we tend to forget all of that. It's guarding you from, of course, protecting you from all those hundreds of microorganisms, which are attacking us all the time, and the pollutants and everything. So it's not just, an outer covering which is meant to be beautified or, this is how it should be. Which is why taking care of the skin is extremely important. And I always tell people, listen, the neck is an extension of your face. Whatever you're putting on the face, please put on your neck as well.
Yeah.
And your hands and legs. So what happens with age is because of, 2 things will happen. One is your layers are shedding. It gets thinner. Your collagen becomes weaker. At the same time, there are hormonal changes, right? In females, of course, estrogen is dipping and all, progesterone is dipping. And because of that, the skin gets drier. Okay. Then it gets more sensitive. And then you get eczemas, you get rashes, you will keep scratching. Sometimes you don't even realize. And, all of that happens. The skin will break into a rash very easily. There'll be cuts, there'll be fissures. The simplest thing to do is use a gentle cleanser, avoid hot water, because hot water will always rip the moisture off from your skin. And make sure you use a moisturizer on a slightly damp skin to lock the moisturizer in. So this is a very basic thing that everybody should do.
And this we are talking about the entire body.
Entire body.
Please apply moisturizer on your entire body.
Entire body. So that. Another interesting thing which, I would want to say here is that people use loofahs all the time.
I did want to ask you, what about, exfoliation of, because there is all layering of dead cells on my face or my feet or my back, and, to get the smooth skin, let me use an abrasive material, cream or loofah or pumice stone or things like that.
Yeah. So, pumice stone was a thing when I was a child. I think mom used to sit and scrub. But the irony is, when you use all these harsh scrubs and you exfoliate, you damage the skin barrier, A. And so the skin can get more sensitive. B, there's sometimes this protein called amyloid which gets deposited, especially on your back, on your arms and legs. And you get this dark pigment. It's that blotchy pigment, which is really very, very common in Indian skin. And so the back has like this big patch of amyloid. The arms are dark, the neck. there's no cure.
It's irreversible.
Yes, it's irreversible. So then the best way to sort of bathe is, of course, use your fingers. And if you still feel like using some form of scrubs, do maybe a gentle oat scrub or a very soft washcloth instead of using a harsh
Rough.
pumice stone or a rough loofah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see with every, shower gel, you get that loofah and you
Yeah.
want to scrub that, but actually you're damaging your skin. And you're causing, maybe there is a chance of hyperpigmentation, especially if you're genetically predisposed, which is why over exfoliation is completely, something that one should refrain from.
Okay.
So
What about those, you get these rollers with microdermabrasion of the face, and a lot of promotion is going on to do it, it's DIY, do it at home
yeah,
kind of a thing. If it is done gently, is it okay?
I think, as a doctor, maybe you can, but for everybody else, microneedling, derma roller you're talking about. I was the first one to get it in India.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So pioneer.
2006.
Okay.
But using these rollers at home, you don't know where you're keeping them. You don't know if those needles are getting infected. You may, and definitely I know that people will not use and throw. They're all use and throw devices. But you know how it is. You keep it, you'll use it again.
Yeah.
You're not sterilizing it. You think, oh, I've just washed it well with, I don't want to name things, but the disinfectant that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
The microorganisms are still going to lie there. And there's a very high chance that you will infect your skin.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second is when you're rolling the needles on your skin, there's no uniform penetration. So you're damaging, and if your skin is compromised, if the barrier is compromised, you don't know, probably some area is drier than the other. They're called hotspots. That particular area will get affected. So you may get post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. We're Indians. We're always at the drop of a hat. Our melanin is increasing. So we are prone to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So that can happen. You can have infections. You can develop more acne. So I think you should let this particular treatment, microneedling, you can get it done at any
to clinics.
clinic.
Let's keep it to the the experts.
Now there's a 0.5 mm microneedling device that is available in the market, which people do use on the scalp to apply minoxidil. And that I don't say no to.
Okay.
But I say use and throw. So don't keep using the same device. A, again, infection. B, the needles get blunt.
Yes.
And you use it once, that's all. It's meant for use and throw. You keep using it again and again, you'll damage the scalp. Then again, the infections and all that will happen. So there may be to use minoxidil or whatever serums you can use and then throw it. But on the face, please go to clinics.
Avoid, do not do it yourself.
Do not do it yourself.
Now, coming to a very basic, skincare routine. Everybody knows it, but I just want to kind of start the conversation from there by asking you if it's a blanket thing for everybody. I know you said that every skin is different and everybody needs to tailor make their product line and everything. What is it that is a must that every person should do? And secondly, at what age should this routine start? And before that, what should be the skincare that a mother needs to take care of for her children?
I think basic skincare, which I always believe one should do, can start as early as the age of 5, which is just cleansing, moisturizing, and applying a sunscreen. 3
So
things.
at age 5, you recommend using a moisturizer on face?
Just some gentle
Mild,
baby moisturizers.
mild,
There are
okay.
nice, gentle ones.
Okay.
So you can. You should, in fact. And sometimes I don't deny that I do give one product. I'll say, okay, if the child is stepping out, give the sunscreen. Just cleanse and use a moisturizer. And till the age of 19, I do not advise anything beyond cleansing, moisturizing, and sunscreen.
So serums, etc., like the layering, as we will
Layering,
come to
I'll
that
say after 18, 19.
after 18, 19.
Yes.
How do you step up on the layering?
What I start with is, of course, after your cleansing, you apply one serum. That will depend on your skin requirement. So if you have dry skin, I'll say, okay, use a niacinamide or use hyaluronic acid. If you have sensitive skin, hyaluronic acid.
What are the functions of these serums?
So hyaluronic acid it's a humectant. What is a humectant? It's a moisturizing agent which absorbs water from the environment and also from the skin, and it keeps the skin surface hydrated, right? Which is why when you apply a hyaluronic acid serum, apply it on slightly damp skin so that it doesn't take off all your moisture from the skin. Just takes it from the environment. And over that, you should apply a moisturizer also. That's very important when you're doing hyaluronic acid. Otherwise, sometimes people think, oh, this is a good moisturizer, let me apply it, and the skin gets dry with hyaluronic acid. And then they come to us and then they're like, but doc, hyaluronic acid. No, this is how you're supposed to use it because it's a humectant. So that's hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid also helps to build collagen over a period of time. It's a biostimulator. So when you use it regularly at a later age, it is trying to help you with building a little collagen. So hydrating and building collagen. Niacinamide is this jack of all trades, right? It helps to build ceramides, which are the building blocks in our skin. It helps to inhibit the enzyme tyrosinase, which is this particular enzyme tyrosinase helps to produce the pigment melanin. So if you inhibit that, if you put a block there, the pigment formation reduces. And niacinamide, vitamin C, these are ingredients which do that. Then niacinamide so by and large, these are the two things, which is why, you use it when you have dry skin or you use it when you have pigmented skin. But its efficacy is not 100%. It's jack of all trades. It will give you a 50%. So you always combine it with something. So that's so if you have dry skin, you use niacinamide or hyaluronic acid. If you have pigmented skin, you can use niacinamide because I told you it's a tyrosinase inhibitor, or you can use vitamin C. Vitamin C, very versatile. Now, vitamin C will protect you from UVA, UVB, blue light. It is also a very good free radical scavenger. So the so-called, people love the word toxins, basically the
vitamin C will take.
The free radicals, the matrix metalloproteinases, all these, it goes and attacks them. Okay, it's like this soldier which will go and attack them and destroy them. Therefore, so it has these two. It is a very powerful antioxidant. So it's protecting you from UV rays. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's an immunity booster. And so if you have pigmented skin or sensitive skin, you can use vitamin C. However, if you have acne-prone skin, you have to be a little more cautious with the base. So if you have vitamin C in powders.
Okay.
So if you use a powder, it doesn't do, much harm. But if you have oily skin and you have a vitamin C serum which has an oil base, it'll give you acne. So it's not the C which is giving you acne, it's the base that is giving you acne. So you've got to be a little more careful there. So if you have acne-prone skin, then in fact, people who have acne, I say don't use any serums. Give your skin a little break. Vitamin C, there's one important thing. Most of the vitamin C, the most potent vitamin C, in fact, is L-ascorbic acid. When it gets exposed to sunlight or daylight, visible light, it gets oxidized. So you must use it with a sunscreen. Otherwise, the efficacy goes. And a lot of times people say we use vitamin C, doc, and then the skin turns darker because it's getting oxidized. So in such a situation, either change the formulation from an L-ascorbic acid to some magnesium ascorbate or something like that, or use it at night. So these two. So that's how I give my serums in the morning. I will not give more than one serum. I will prescribe one serum. Then you use a moisturizer. Now, again, if you have oily skin, we are fortunate now you have a lot of these water-based, gel-based moisturizers, the Korean moisturizers, which are very, feel good and gel-based. Use that. If you have dry skin, you have to use a heavy cream, obviously. And then top it with your sunscreen, right? Now,
with a gap of 5 minutes each, 7 minutes each.
Over the serum, you don't need to you can immediately apply your moisturizer. But when it comes to the sunscreen, you have to have a 5-minute gap. Then apply the sunscreen. Wait for about 10-15 minutes, then do your makeup. So that's the way you layer your skin. And how do you select your sunscreen? Again, depending on your skin type, you use a water-based, gel-based, or a matte sunscreen if you have normal skin, oily skin, and a cream-based if you have dry skin. Use an SPF of minimum 50. Look at a PA value.
That's something protection. Which, not too many people know, the PA value.
Yes. So that is protection from UVA. And Indian skin, we need protection from visible light and UVA, typically. Especially melasma, visible light. There's enough research now which says, we've gone back and said, no, it's not UVB. It's a little UVA, but it's maximum visible light, which is increasing melasma, which is so, it's prevalent, very, very rampant in Indian skin. So look at the PA value, triple plus or whatever. And what is it now? You have ingredients which will protect you from visible light and blue light. Typically, iron oxide, which is tinted, is great for visible light and blue light. But also ingredients like melasil and thymidol, and some of them will have vitamin C. So these kind of combinations are great for an Indian skin type. So this is how you select your sunscreen. So that's the day routine that you will do. Now, at bedtime, the most important thing, however tired you are, however late you've come back from wherever, whichever party or whatever, you have to remove your makeup. And some people say, we don't have makeup on, so it's okay. No, you still have to cleanse your face. Then use a cleanser. Then comes your night serum, right? So I always give, a serum depending on your requirement.
The skin type.
Now here, this is the time when you can use an AHA, BHA, retinol. Apart from all the serums that you can use in the morning, you can use them at night as well. But you can do an AHA, BHA, retinol. Now let me break down these for you. AHA is alpha hydroxy acid, so glycolic acid, mandelic acid, lactic acid. So glycolic is obtained from sugarcane, lactic is obtained from milk, mandelic is from bitter almond. So these are all technically, if you go to see, natural, okay? But nothing is natural. Everything has to have a preservative and something, so it becomes, and everything is a chemical. So these are used for anti-aging because they help in collagen production and they slow down the collagen degradation. So if you have, you want to prevent fine lines, or if you have, your pores are dilating, they're looking more open. They also help with hyperpigmentation. So these are good things to use. When will you use a glycolic? When will you use a lactic? When will you use a mandelic? So glycolic is the most potent of them all. So if your skin is normal or you have slightly oily skin, you can use glycolic. If you have very sensitive skin, use lactic because it's also got a moisturizing ingredient in it and it's a larger molecule. So it won't damage your skin. If you're somewhere in between, you can use mandelic. It's less irritating. Glycolic can be very irritating at times. So mandelic is less irritating. Lactic is least irritating. So this is how you understand and you use your AHA. So you do an AHA one day. Then the next day you could do a hyaluronic acid or a niacinamide. Then the third day you could do a retinoid. Then again a hyaluronic acid or a niacinamide. Then again an AHA. So you're cycling and you're giving intermittently, you're giving a day's break for the skin to recover from the AHA because the AHA is a chemical exfoliator. Then comes the BHA, beta hydroxy acid, which is salicylic acid. What is it? It's lipophilic. It's an acid taken from willow birch. So it tends to get into the pores, into the basically water pores. They're openings of our sebaceous gland ducts.
Yeah.
Right? So all the oil, the sebum that is, produced within that sebaceous gland, it has to go out. There has to be some method of throwing it out or excreting it out. And that happens through the pores. If there's a lot of sebum, a lot of oil, that is going to overfill that, collect and clog. And that's when the pore again looks more dilated or open, right? So in such situations, you use a salicylic acid because there's a lot of oil there. So the salicylic acid will go and it's lipophilic. It'll dissolve the oil and it will exfoliate and break it and unclog the pore. So if you have oily skin, if you have clogged pores, you have whiteheads, you have blackheads, that's the time you should be using a salicylic acid. Then comes the retinoid, which is all over the place.
Again, buzzing.
Buzzing. Everybody wants to use retinoid. So now it's been there forever. It's a vitamin A derivative.
Correct.
First discovered in 1947. And again, very versatile. So it helps in collagen production. It helps in exfoliation. It helps to reduce hyperpigmentation. It helps to reduce the sebum and therefore it helps in reducing acne. So it has all these functions. But you have to use it very judiciously. And the various forms of retinol.
There's concentrates, right? Different concentrates which are available.
So the mildest ones are the retinyl esters. Then you have the retinol. So you get the 1% retinol, which is very, very common now. Then you have the retinaldehyde, which is the retinal. So I'm talking in terms of increasing concentrations, right?
Yeah.
Then so after the retinal or the retinaldehyde comes the tretinoin, which is the killer ingredient, which as dermatologists we've been prescribing forever. So when you want to start with, when do you do a retinol? You use it as an anti-aging ingredient unless your dermatologist has prescribed it for acne. I see a lot of these reels on Instagram with tretinoin, retin-A. Don't do it on your own. Sometimes it can backfire.
In a woman's life, there are so many of these stages
Hormonal
one goes through, be it pregnancy or going ahead to perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Does the skin routine that you have recommended or suggested right now change? If so, what are the changes? And depending on which stage, what do you recommend?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It changes with, oh my God, as it is, we go through so much. So, so what happens is even during our menstrual cycle, it changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Routinely also. As I said, just before periods, it'll get a little oily, a little cranky. Sometimes you break out. You'll get those two pesky pimples that you don't want and you have, an event tomorrow and then... So that's happened to all of us.
So I'm going to ask you one quick question here because a lot of people put toothpaste on acne. And you see them with these white dots and I'm like, okay, what's happening here? Oh, I have just put toothpaste. It takes. What is the science behind it, if there is any?
So they had fluorides in the toothpaste back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's an antiseptic. And so it was killing the bacteria. And which is why the acne was, sort of calming down. Because if it's a pimple, obviously it's there are a lot of these. They used to be called Propionibacterium acne, those bacteria. Now the name has changed to Cutibacterium acne. I don't know, they're not cute, but, So so obviously, normally also we will probably have, say, we have 5, just a number. But in a pimple, there'll be 5,000. And so when you're using an antiseptic, it's calming it down. And that was the rationale behind using toothpaste. But now, the toothpastes which are available now don't have these ingredients and these antiseptic ingredients. And they could actually cause irritant contact dermatitis and again pigmentation and rashes. So I don't think it's a great idea to use toothpaste on your pimple. I've seen people do toothpaste, some do spit, some do
Yeah.
random things.
Lime.
Yeah, oh my
The
God, that's
tuna,
again,
that's-
tuna and
yeah.
lime is again, it burns your
It
skin.
burns your skin.
I did have a girl who, had applied lime all over her face on all her acne. And the scarring, it took us about 2 years to
Oh my
treat the
God.
scarring, because not only was it darker, those spots had become dark, but they were burnt. But at the same time, they were depressed, like those chicken
So
pox
there was
scars.
like
So like a lot of scarring. 2 years of, chemical peels and microneedling and fractional lasers and so much trauma. Also money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just because
psychologically, it's very, very, again, painful, right?
Debilitating,
To have
yeah.
this thing happening to your face.
Yeah.
Coming back to the pregnancy routine, what is the absolute do not use in pregnancy?
Retinoid. Absolutely. I started practice in 2000, and back in the day, at that time, we didn't think so much, and you prescribed.
Yeah.
So there was this girl who used to come to me for acne, and I gave her whatever, and I gave her a tretinoin finally, and she loved it, and she kept continuing it. She said, "Dr. J, can I use it?" Yeah, you can use it, because it's a good anti-aging ingredient. And she was around 24, 25 at that time. So I said, use it maybe twice a week. She was using it twice a week. Then she got married. She continued using it. She was by then 27, 28. And she was still using it twice a week only. Then she got pregnant. And her gynecologist, the first pregnancy, is asking her to abort.
Oh.
And it had become such a thing.
Yeah.
And then she came to me. I was not treating her anymore. It was like 3-4 years, 2-3 years, whatever. And she said, you prescribed me. I'm like, but I prescribed you 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But you should have told me. So we have to be mindful. That's when you learn. I also, that's how I learned. I said, even if the girl is 15, I have to tell her, look, it is not safe in pregnancy.
Yeah.
That's how isotretinoin thing started. Right? It's absolutely contraindicated. It's teratogenic, like the retinoid.
Yeah.
And that's why
But application on face can affect a baby.
If you are consistently applying it for a very long time, obviously, as you rightly said, it is getting absorbed. And then systemically, it is causing an effect. Luckily, then we consulted 3-4 other gynecologists, and they said, she's only been doing it very erratically, once a week, twice a week. And we've just found out it's just, 5 weeks. So it's okay. So she continued. She has a boy, like almost, I think he's a teenager now. So we got saved. But the anxiety, the pressure, the agony, you don't want all that. Second is salicylic acid. Don't use higher concentrations. Anything above 10% should not be used.
Yeah.
You can use benzoyl peroxide and clindamycin, but very, very occasionally. If I also tell them to avoid all fragrance-based products, because again, you don't know which one of them can cause an allergy, and then if it causes an allergy or a reaction, then you have very limited. You don't use steroids and all of that.
Yeah.
So, you also have to be very careful of these anti-stretch mark creams that are available. You don't know what ingredients are there in them. Sometimes they do have a retinoid, sometimes they'll have some weird. So you've got to be careful there as well.
What about perimenopause, menopause, postmenopausal skin?
So perimenopause is when the acne starts. People.
That's adult onset.
Yes,
acne,
adult onset acne. So if you are in that category, then again, from using very heavy creams, you'll switch to like lighter creams and gel-based creams. And so this is when then you will, if you were using, say, more of vitamin C, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, you will switch to glycolic acid, salicylic acid. So that switch will happen because now your skin is again becoming oily. And doc, why I'm not a teenager? Why am I growing young again? Well, this is what could join the gang. This is perimenopausal phase. So that's how your skin will change. But some people become even drier. The skin starts to get dry. So then if the skin is drier, From an oily, it's getting dry. So then now you will use heavier creams.
Correct. So skin type changes here, right? It's a time when you have to again monitoring
revisit
what is happening to your skin.
Absolutely. Then comes the menopause, which is like the worst because the skin really gets dry. Courtesy the
skin becomes thin as well.
It becomes thin, it becomes dry. So yes. Now, 25 onwards, the skin is losing 1% collagen per year. 45 onwards, it's losing 2% to 5%. You attain menopause. In the first 3 years post-menopause, you lose 30% of your collagen. And that's a great switch.
Yeah.
And then the skin also becomes thinner.
Yeah.
And it's also more sensitive. It's because it's thin, it's more sensitive. It bruises also very easily. Your blood vessels are thinner.
Yeah.
Your capillaries break very easily. And the skin gets very dry because of the dip in your estrogen and progesterone. So if you're developing more eczemas, more allergies, more rashes, then maybe you should consult with your gynecologist also. And that is one aspect of treating your skin. Because, you'll be amazed at how you're just using a little estrogen on your, your arm or your forearm, and the skin is improving. So that's how your skin changes with menopause. And you need to take that extra care. I have menopause. So I have this jar of moisturizer in my car, and the moment I will apply after a shower, but most of the time I'm running. So then in the car, I'm just sitting in my arms and legs and I'll sit and moisturize. So, and of course the back gets very itchy because of the dryness, so you do need a moisturizer and loads of it.
Right.
Heavy ones at night, maybe slightly lighter ones in the day.
In all this, the one step which I found missing is toning or using a toner. Why haven't you mentioned it?
I am not a big believer of a toner. Most dermatologists are not. So if you have very oily skin, maybe you can use a toner. It's a form of double cleansing. So what is a toner? I mean, these days, of course, back in the day, you got alcohol-based toners. Now you have alcohol-free toners. So after washing your face, you want to cleanse a little more and you want your moisturizer to sit well. And so that is why you use a toner. That's the funda behind a toner. But
so honestly, it does not tone your skin or it doesn't tone your muscles.
Yeah.
Unlike what the name suggests.
Yeah. So it's really not necessary unless you have oily skin.
Okay.
And so I don't think in my 26 years of practice I have ever written toner in my prescription.
So toner is not really needed.
Yeah.
Right. Now coming to, so this becomes your daily routine. Is there anything specific that you recommend that one does weekly in addition to your routine?
I do not recommend too many treatments when somebody is young. Unless they have acne. So if they have acne, I'll say, when I say young, I'm talking about less than 30. That's the time they can do maybe a hydrofacial. If they have a lot of acne, they can do salicylic acid, a combination of salicylic acid peels and hydrofacials. Sometimes, of course, the brides, they want to do something more. Yeah. That's when I'll tell them, okay, do a microneedling treatment. So, but it's not weekly. It's monthly. Right? Now, post 30 is when I would say, okay, now this is the time probably you do need a little extra care. Because, even post 25 actually, when your collagen breakdown is 1%. So maybe then I would say alternate your, month with a peel and a microneedling or a laser toning, a Q-switch and Diag laser, and a microneedling. Now, when I say a peel, all peels are chemical peels, however natural they are.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have hyperpigmentation, then your dermatologist will do maybe a combination of glycolic, trichloroacetic acid, kojic, those kind of peels. If you have acne, they will do salicylic or lactic. acid peel. So depending on your skin. If you have nothing and you just want anti-aging, then glycolic acid is the best. Do not peel your skin at home. These peel bottles, these solutions are so easily available now.
Yeah.
A. And B, there are also fake low-grade products available.
Yes.
So you don't know what you're applying on the skin. So it's best to do it at a clinic. Then I also love radio frequency. So radio frequency skin tightening, again, I brought it into the country in 2007. And that's something which, heats your collagen. So it's like a heat, it's like a massage. When it heats the skin, say up to 38 to 40 degrees, the dermis, the collagen is in the dermis.
Yeah.
So the dermis it reaches 58 to 60. That is the temperature required to shrink your existing loose collagen and to start the process of neocollagenesis. That means the production of new collagen. So once you cross 30, I would say alternate between an RF and maybe a microneedling. I keep pushing in microneedling everywhere because it's a very safe treatment to do in the clinic, right? And you do it every month for about 6 months. Now, microneedling it's basically, what is it? There's a pen called the Derma pen. It's a handheld device. There's a cartridge which has microneedles. And these are absolutely stainless steel, medical grade, very safe. And you can adjust the depth of the needle from, say, 0.2 to about 0.4. So the skin has the thickness of the skin differs on various parts of the body, even on the face. It's very thin under the eye.
Yeah.
It's thicker on the cheeks.
Yeah.
So on the forehead, it's thin. So your doctor will adjust the depth of the needle on every part of the face. There is no heat. There's no light, which means it's very safe for the Indian skin type. Okay? It's colorblind. And because of that, there's very less chance of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Of course, you can't be aggressive.
Be gentle.
Be very gentle.
Yeah.
And so your doctor will know how to do it. There's a specific technique and you use that technique. So it creates channels in your skin and there are specific serums. So you can't use your regular serums over the microneedling treatment that you've done. There are these injectable grade serums. That means nanoparticles. Then you do PRP. So you take your blood, centrifuge it, take out the platelet-rich plasma. That has all the growth factors in it. Your transforming growth factor.
Liquid gold.
Beta, it's liquid gold. Yes. And that you inject and you also microneedling and pour. You microneedle and you pour because the microneedling has created all those channels. So you do a PRP, you can do a PRF, you can do a GFC. It depends on the reagent and the spinning that you've done. Then there are exosomes that you can use. Then there is PDRN, which is obtained from salmon sperm DNA. So there are all these various, and then there are meso solutions, brightening solutions that you can pour over after doing the microneedling.
So what happens if somebody calls you and says, Doc, I have seen this reel or I have read about PDRN, that is what I want to do?
No, I will say, please come. We need to do a consultation.
Yeah.
And I examine the skin. And then if the person, if I feel that the person requires the PDRN or will benefit from the PDRN, then I will say, okay, go ahead. But if there is...
So what are the indications and contraindications for PDRN, exosomes, the mesolytic serums and so on and so forth?
Yeah. So the meso solutions are typically for hydration and glow. Types which have alpha-butene, vitamin C, licorice, a lot of these skin brightening agents. So you can use them if you have hyperpigmentation, if you have uneven skin tone. Those are the solutions. Then comes the PDRN, which is the big buzzword, right?
Yeah.
Polydeoxyribonucleic acid, and then you have the polynucleotides as well, obtained from salmon sperms and trouts. So trout sperms. their DNA supposedly is
Closest
to the human DNA,
Mm.
which is why it is beneficial. Again, it has regenerative properties and it has rejuvenating properties. And it also, there are some papers, very, very nascent again, where it's seen that when you inject it or you use it with a microneedling device, it reduces hyperpigmentation. Now, the Koreans made it very, very popular. It started from there.
Yeah.
And apparently, one of the brands which is very popular can be injected, and it's approved by the Korean government. It still does not have US FDA clearance. And we usually go by US FDA or CE. CE is European. But it doesn't have clearance. So you still use it with a microneedling device and you don't inject it. And it helps to reduce, as I said, it helps to reduce pigmentation. And somebody wants that instant
Quick glow.
Somebody has a wedding to attend, brides, grooms, you can most certainly do a PDRN. But some people can develop a lot of swelling. I have seen anaphylaxis.
Okay.
I have seen angioedema, which means the entire face has swollen up because it's obtained from another, living being. So you have to be careful. So I do see a lot of swelling in people and it lasts for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it's not, you've got to be a little careful. You've got to understand that PDRN, if it doesn't work for you, you may have edema or swelling. Sometimes you can develop an allergy. I had a patient who was red. We poured it, we did microneedling, she was fine. With microneedling, there was no redness. The moment we poured the PDRN, and this was the Korean product, the very established Korean product, the face was on fire, completely red, and then we had to give her cortisone and, all of that. But she came back after a month. Doc, I want to do PDRN. I said, what the hell? See, people. She said, my skin looked fab.
Oh, it worked for her
when
eventually.
the reaction subsided in 2-3 days. So people have to be really educated about this before you just jump and say, oh, let me do a PDRN. You can't.
Correct.
You can't just do it.
So would all these come under biostimulators?
So yes, exosomes, PDRN, these are milder biostimulators. Now there are creams and serums with PDRN in it. You get loads of them. Honestly, I don't think they work. Because PDRN comes as a very large molecule. It's over 500 Daltons. And for a product to penetrate into your skin, it has to be less than 500. So I think they just sit on the skin and maybe moisturize the skin, but they don't do anything beyond that. Since we're talking about PDRN.
So who do you decide to go ahead with Profhilo? Who do you decide for Sculptra? How do you decide that?
Yeah. Profhilo has hyaluronic acid. It's got 64 milligram per mil of hyaluronic acid. Half of it, 32 milligram per mil, is cross-linked. Half is non-cross-linked. Cross-linking helps it to become a little more stable, like a little more jelly kind. Non-cross-linked is making it watery. So it's a combination of both. And it's injected into the skin. What it does is it hydrates the skin because it's into the skin and it's hyaluronic acid. And it also stimulates collagen over a period of time. And there is research. There are histopathological studies which have shown that hyaluronic acid is biostimulatory. So I would give it to somebody in the age group of 30 to 40, somebody who has very dry skin, somebody who has never done injectables, wants to jump into it. Then we have Sculptra, which is the big daddy of them all, right? It is polyl-lactic acid. It is synthetic. Once injected, you cannot take it out.
Oh, it's again permanent.
It's there, right? It does degrade over 4 months, 5 months. But by then, it has stimulated your fibroblasts, which are cells which produce collagen. So you inject it in a way that you know that you have your anchoring fibers. That's the anatomy of the skin, and you know where are your anchoring fibers. It's usually this part.
Yeah.
So you inject it in the temples, you inject it, a little away from, this is called the zygomatic arch. So you inject it there in the preauricular area, so just in front of your ears, and in the along your jawline. Don't do it around the mouth. Don't do it in the cheeks.
Yeah.
Because if it stimulates and overstimulates, your cells here, you will get those apple cheeks, which you can't remove. Do not do it around the eyes. I've had patients who've come and said, do it under the eye. We've seen reels.
Oh my God.
Say no. Read PubMed papers and they will tell you that you cannot inject Sculptra polyl lactic acid under the eyes. Sorry, Sculptra it's polyl lactic acid. Sculptra is the generic name. There are other companies which are now coming with polyl lactic acid. You see the result over 3 to 4 months.
So it's not instant.
You will not see instant results. The same thing happens with Profhilo. All the biostimulators. Biostimulators means
they're stimulating,
products which stimulate your body's collagen. Collagen regeneration takes about 3 months.
Yeah.
So you have to expect that
patience
much. You
again.
have to have patience. I would say the age group of early 40s to mid 50s is great. That's the age for Sculptra.
Okay. So you are against the word anti-aging, right? You prefer skin longevity.
Yeah. Why do you want? Why anti-aging? Why should we should all age?
We are aging.
We will
irrespective.
age. We will age. Yeah. So that one line on your face is an expression. It's your character. That one scar is your character. It's defining you. So I would say, youthful aging. Age gracefully but youthfully is what I always say. And that's why I say prejuvenation. And start early. Don't wait till, doc, I do have people say, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do Botox after I'm 50. By then your lines
are permanent.
They're permanent. So Botox is not going to work. Then
let's talk about Botox a little bit, because it is the word which has been around for years, and yet there are so many myths around it. There's so much of misunderstanding where Botox is concerned. At what age should one start Botox? Because I am even aware of celebrities, young girls who have requested Botox at the age of 20 and 21.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Botox, botulinum toxin, right? I have been a international trainer for botulinum toxin since 2006. I started injecting in 2004. And I do see that whatever you do, okay, your lines are going to be there. They will be back. Maybe they will never worsen. So if you say prejuvenation, I will say, okay. Prejuvenation. I will say fine. But there is an age for it. Because if you start at 21, then there is going to be a phase where you will stop responding to it.
So your body adapts to it.
Yes. There are reports of antibodies which develop over a period of time.
Yeah, because it is a toxin at the end of the day.
So if you do it too frequently, if you do it every 2 months, if you do it, sometimes every month or whatever, you can do a top up in 2 weeks. That's fine. But after that, give it 4 months. 4 to 6 months. A lot of times, 90% of the times it's 4 months because the effect wears off. But don't do it too frequently because then there are chances of antibodies. And don't start so early because the lines are going to be there.
Yeah.
You are going to... How do the lines form? Basically, it's your muscle activity.
Yeah.
Which is creating that crease on the skin.
And creases,
Right. So... you're not going to stop emoting.
Yeah.
You will develop lines. How much are you going to stop? So I would start a little late, 30s. Or very, like if it's an actor, then I would say, okay, late 20s maybe. But if you're not into that, and then I would say, 33 to 35 is a nice age to start. Now don't start at 50 because your lines have already formed.
Yeah.
So if you just start, if you begin to see the lines, there's no such age. The age is when you begin to see the lines getting more prominent. Okay. One line here is okay. But now I've developed beginning to see 3 lines when I'm smiling. Maybe that's the age to start a little bit of Botox.
So the
Similarly,
age can vary depending on how your lines are developing.
Yes. Genes have a lot to play.
Of course.
Lifestyle has a huge role. So depending on that, you give your Botox.
Yeah.
You
Now, it also causes a frozen face, or, especially for, like, for example, being an actor, I get paid to emote. I get paid to show emotions. And there has to be a fine balance between not wanting lines on my face and being able to emote. Or even for a non-actor, having a frozen face looks very weird, looks very strange, right? So how does one manage this part of Botox?
So back in the days, frozen face was a thing because people didn't know, right? When Dr. Jean Caruthers, who was an ophthalmologist, and she's my mentor, I've trained under her, when she discovered that all her blepharospasm patients who were taking Botox came back very happy saying our lines have disappeared, they didn't know what was the dosage. So her husband, late Dr. Alistair, she came and told him that I think we found something. And then they did the research. And so they were giving 100 units and the complete frozen face because you have stopped complete muscle movement, right? So then the titration began, the reduction in doses. Then it became, 64, the rule of 64. We don't go beyond 30, 35 max on the entire forehead. So we microdose. In actors, I will still microdose. What happens, maybe the effect will go away sooner, right? There are 2 schools of thought. There are doctors who say, let's do a larger dose, it will last you for 8 months. Never lasts for 8 months, maybe 6 months. But those first 2-3 months, you are looking
completely
like
frozen.
Frozen,
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the right. I belong to the other group where I'll say, I'll microdose you. Maybe you'll come back in 3.5 months, which is all right. Okay. So the key is to be able to express, to be able to, when somebody is looking at you, he or she knows that you are angry or, or
not
happy.
Poker face.
Not poker face. At the same time, you shouldn't look like you're angry all the time.
Yeah.
Right? You have that permanent frown. That doesn't look nice.
Yeah.
You better get rid of
fresh,
it. You don't look fresh. Then you better get rid of it by injecting a little bit of Botox. So I think the key is in microdosing, and less is more here, especially in actors. And in air. And also it depends on the character that they're portraying. A lot of times, I have actors who've been with me for so many years, right? So, Doc, now I'm playing a 20-year-old. That's when I will try and freeze a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll give a little extra. But Doc, now I'm playing this teacher, okay? Or this some stern lawyer. Then I want those lines. I won't even touch you. I won't give you anything. You frown. It's fine. I'm playing this Kharoos woman. Okay, frown.
Yeah.
I'm playing this old person. Okay. But when you're smiling, if I see 10 lines here, I will definitely do. Because I want those 10 lines to become 3 lines.
Yeah.
I don't want those 10 lines to become 0 lines. Right? The other advantage of injecting, now these muscles here, you have the orbicularis oculi. These fibers of this muscle, they also sort of brow depressors, right? So when you constantly emote and you age and also your lifestyle, this starts to get droopy.
Yeah.
So when you do a little bit of toxin here and a little bit here, it lifts your brow. So a lot of times patients come and say, Doc, now I can't see my eyeshadow. Right? And so they know. So then we do a little bit of Botox, little bit. So it lifts their brow. And then when it's wearing off, they know. They know by the eyeshadow. Right?
That's a yardstick.
Yeah.
A lot of times people take Botox and fillers in one breath.
Yeah.
They are very different.
Yeah.
They have different functions.
I think even today people don't understand the word fillers. So even when somebody is overfilled, they say he or she is Botoxed.
Botoxed, yeah. That's become the synonym.
So a filler is basically a syringe of any product. Okay. Typically, we do hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is very safe. It's there in our skin. It's there in our retina. It's there in our joints. Depletes as we age. So you have these manufactured syringes, and they're pre-filled syringes with this jelly. It's a jelly. You get a 1 ml, 2 ml, whatever. There are different brands, and you inject them. Where do you inject them? You inject them into first all the hollows of the face. So as we age, not only as we age, Indians per se, our sockets are larger. And as we age, interestingly, the superomedial, which is this part of your orbit, and the inferolateral, which is this part of your orbit, these two resorb right in as early as maybe in your late 20s. They start to, break. And then, of course, your skin anyway is, thinner because of collagen. So everything is shrinking. So when the bone goes from here and here, you start to see those sockets. That is where you put in fillers. Hollow eyes. Dark shadows cast by the hollow eyes. So you put in, because otherwise you look haggard, you look tired. You've slept really well, but still you look tired. So you put in fillers. You can inject fillers in those hollows. If you have very thin lips and you wish that you want a little more plumping of the lips, you can do fillers in the lips very beautifully. Fillers don't have to be, and the lips don't have to be duck lips. So the lips shouldn't be walking in before the person's walking in, is what I always say. And so you have to do it very beautifully, judiciously. You should know the lip anatomy. You should know where to place your product. As we age, again, the bone here, the maxilla and the mandible, both are getting resorbed. And the fat is going. So also the dentition. So your upper lip, the upper lip becomes thinner before the lower lip, and slowly then the lower lip. So if you look at your photographs, you'll see that, I had fuller lips then, and now my lips are thinner. Definitely do a filler. Why not? Because I think it adds character and to your face, and it brings about a certain amount of pleasantness, freshness to the face. So these are the various common areas, and the temples. When you put a little in the temples, it sort of helps to lift. It's not going to be a dramatic lift, but maybe a 30% lift. And so also when your nasolabial folds, your laugh lines get very prominent. We don't inject into the laugh lines when you have folds. How much are you going to inject? Right. Make you one, So you inject on the sides here so that it lifts.
So why does one witness so many pillow faces? And they all land up looking similar,
Yeah. So I think there are two things here. One is that when they started teaching, even now, I think now they are slowly moving away because of all these pillow faces and Instagram. Everybody's showing these pillow faces. But when they taught you math. So phi ratio, the golden ratio of 1:1.6. Market's face, where, your stats have to be like this. You divide the face into 5. Each division has to be the same, a replica of the other. If you divide the face into 3, the upper third, middle third, lower third have to be similar. So all these things were taught. The distance from your nose to the ear should be this much. The angle, if you drop a line like this, should be like whatever. This angle should be obtuse. So all this math. So when you do math, you will recreate. It's like art. You see an artist. My dad used to paint. He's done beautiful. He's made sketches of me. And grids, markings, this much from this place to this place. So if you begin to do that, obviously you're going to replicate
Hmm.
because you're going to create the same face. You are forgetting the uniqueness of that face.
Hmm.
That's one thing.
Hmm.
So everybody was looking like clones of themselves, like, of each other rather. The second thing is overfilling, where a lot of times the doctor is overfilling because the company which has brought in the dermat or the plastic surgeon to teach you or the physician to teach you has taught you in a way that has taught you that, you need to put 20 syringes on the face. Okay. And so you're taught that. And you feel you only know that because it's not in our curriculum, you see.
Yeah.
It's not in our postgraduate curriculum.
Yeah.
Now we are teaching, we're conducting workshops and all for postgraduates and we're teaching them. But that is now, maybe in the last 5 years. So you overfill because you don't know how many syringes. Now what an injector should do is you learn, you imbibe, but you use your brain and look at the anatomy and just do what you think is going to improve that bit of the face. You don't have to create an ideal face.
Yeah.
In that whole thing of ideal face, you've that monkey tarazu wala story where you're filling this, then you're filling this, then you're filling this. Then.
Yeah.
So trying to achieve that ideal proportion in that, in that, thing, in that perseverance, in that perfection, you mess up and you overfill. Second, so also if you don't have an artistic eye, I'm sorry, but if you don't understand the art, because you're a sculptor, you're a scientist who's turned into a sculptor.
An artist,
so there's a science and an art amalgamation happening here. But if you don't have that eye, you're probably doing that to yourself too. Right?
Yeah.
And that's your concept. You like lips like that. Your lips are also like that. You like cheeks like that. So then you have to then take 4 steps back and learn the art.
Yeah.
So then what happens also is people either are getting influenced by other people who they see. Their role models could be actors, could be, influencers, could be whatever. And they see that everything is stretched and there's no line, there's no wrinkle, there's no pore. Forgetting that there could be makeup, there could be lights, there could be whatever.
Filter.
And they want to filters and they want to achieve that. And in the pursuit of achieving that, they are overfilling. And they tell the doctor, no, I want it this way. Then there are people who come every 6 months. I actually tell them, please go. Come back after a year and a half. If it's a lip, I would probably do a little bit after 6 months because it's a very mobile area and it goes off maybe. But otherwise, under eye, 1.5 years. Chin, 2 years. Nose, 2 years. But there are people who do it every 6 months because they're scared. That is going to, that there's that insecurity. That, then I don't want the whole thing to go off and then people to know. So let me pump again.
So before it's over, only
you're pumping in. It's hyaluronic acid. It's going to absorb water and swell. And remember that whatever you've put in, it's not going to dissolve 100%. Some amount of it is going to remain.
All right. Let's talk about devices, whether it is HIFU, whether it is ZERF and, other lasers, etc. Take us through that.
So lasers have been there for a very long time. You have various types of lasers with different wavelengths. So you have the alexandrite, the long pulse diode, the long pulse Nd:YAG for hair removal. Then you have the Q switch 1064 for pigment. Then you have the more elite pico laser now, which is a picosecond laser. So it breaks down pigment at a finer, wavelength and at a finer rate. Better results, even skin tone, removing tattoos. All this is what your Q switch and your pico will do. Then you have pulse dye for vascular lesions. So, blood vessels, telangiectasia, spider veins, bigger things like, those big nevi that people have. So there are various lasers. the most talked about now is the CO2 laser, right? There was a time when my DM was flooded because everybody was doing CO2 laser. And now, carbon dioxide ablative laser can cause a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, not meant for our kind of skin. But the fractional one is great. So if you have acne scars, if you have traumatic scars, post-surgical scars, even just rejuvenation, dilated pores, fine lines, the CO2 non-ablative is a very good device, but handle with care because it leads to a lot of pigmentation. Then you have the microneedling RF. Kim Kardashian had popularized the Morpheus 8. And then now it backfired because then there was this whole paper about how it dissolves your fat. Now, if you use a high intensity microneedling RF and the depth is about 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters, that is when it is going to dissolve your fat. So you should know your device well. And if you're using a 2.5 mm or 1.5 mm for an acne scar, there is no way it will dissolve fat. So use microneedling RF for scars, for atrophic scars, depressions on the skin, chicken pox, accidents, all of that, stretch marks to a certain extent. But don't use it for rejuvenation. Don't use it for skin laxity, because then you might have to go deeper, and that's when the problem arises. So you should know when to use your device. That also has a downtime. So non-ablative lasers are the only lasers which don't have downtime. Non-ablative lasers are done for like the thulium laser or the pico or the erbium YAG non-ablative. These are done for rejuvenation. But the ablative fractional, they do have a downtime. So you've got to be very careful post the laser. If you're careful for that 1 week, then you're good.
It'll be
The
wonders,
results are amazing. Then you have HIFU and UL therapy. These two use the ultrasound. They are ultrasound basically. They heat the skin. And again, the same principle as radiofrequency, where you've heated the skin and then there is new collagen production because there's also a wound that is created and there's a wound healing cascade and all of that happens. So high intensity microfocused ultrasound or UL therapy, by and large, similar. So you do have to do 2 sessions, 3 months apart, and then you repeat it after a year. Very good for people who have moderate jowls, slightly heavier faces. If you have a very gaunt face, like a very thin face, no fat, then and a lot of skin sagging, then better to avoid HIFU or UL therapy. Like my face would be an ideal face for HIFU. So that's HIFU. No, again, it's not a laser, so there is no chance of a hyperpigmentation happening. There's no downtime. There is maybe a little bit of swelling for a day. Sometimes people get little red bumps, which also last for a day. So it's a very safe treatment to do. Now, a lot of people come back saying, we don't find results. So you have to choose the right candidate. It's not for everybody.
How soon do you see the result?
Again, it takes about 3 months.
Okay.
So it's about collagen remodeling. Right. You do see an immediate shrinking because of the heat. And any heat will make the face look good for about a week or 2 weeks. Right. But the actual result you see in about 3 months. So that's the HIFU. Then the most, my DM being flooded with something which has been so popular now is the ZERF. Okay. The ZERF is a radiofrequency device, okay, a non-needle radiofrequency device. So when we spoke of HIFU and UL therapy is the brand name, and there's HIFU by Jaishree. There's also soft wave, which hasn't come to India, but it's also an ultrasound technology. Then the RF technologies were the Exilis, the ND-Med, the Thermage, and now the ZERF. Okay. Now these were the older technologies were using just one particular, like a 6.75 or a 6.8 megahertz. ZERF has two radio frequencies. It has a 6.75 and it has a 2 hertz. So it is able to target the skin at the
Two layers.
superficial and the deep layer. And because it's doing that, the efficacy is higher as opposed to a regular radio frequency device. But it's not for youngsters who are in their 20s.
Yeah.
It's not for very old people who have a lot of laxity. They will need a facelift. It's not for people who have heavy jowls. Mild jowls, a jawline which is slightly distorted, laugh lines which are just about beginning or slightly maybe moderately deep. It's for those people. Again, because it's radio frequency, it's very safe.
Yeah.
Right? It cannot harm the skin or cause any pigmentation because it's colorblind. But it's not a miracle device. You have to do it. You have to repeat it.
Yeah.
It's a nice treatment to do. But you have to understand that everybody's not a candidate. So just because Kim Kardashian promoted it or Priyanka Chopra promoted it, they're great candidates, mind you.
Yeah.
Right? Look at them
Yeah.
before ZERF. They were not falling apart.
Yeah.
And so it made them look better.
Now, an important aspect of looking good, where how young your skin looks or how the longevity is, a big part of it is lifestyle. Today, keeping the first principles aside, which is eat your colors, eat your protein, eat on time, eat the right quantity and the quality of food, sleep well on time and adequate. So quality as well as quantity, hydration. If we keep these things aside, there are many other things which impact our skin very, very in a negative manner, right? So tell us about the impact of smoking, vaping, drinking, drugs, and anything else that comes to your mind.
So skin longevity is the next big thing, right?
Yes.
What is skin longevity? It means keeping your skin healthy. Not beautiful, healthy. There was a study which showed that UV rays, sunlight, is the number one culprit. The number two culprit is smoking. So when you smoke, that nicotine is going to cause an accumulation of free radicals, which in lay term is toxins, in the body and in the skin also. And so your skin begins to deteriorate at a rapid rate. And so there is premature aging. So it's not just, there will be more crow's feet, lines, dark lips, dark circles, dull skin, all that. But your skin will also become more sensitive. You will break into a rash. You will start looking older sooner. So all of these will happen, whether it is smoking or vaping or juul. They have the same impact. Also, in a lot of shishas and hookahs, they do have, certain ingredients which simulate nicotine. They may not be nicotine, but they simulate. And they will have the same effect, as smoking, as a cigarette would. Then we spoke of alcohol. So alcohol, we all know most of it will have sugar. And sugar anyway, we know, causes glycation, which is, breaking down of collagen and increasing the age products, which is the end products of collagen degradation. So that will cause premature aging again. But also alcohol dehydrates the skin, right? And when your skin is dehydrated, automatically, it looks dull, it looks tired, it looks haggard. Plus, it's also, your circulation is improper. It's not adequate. So you have puffiness, you have bloated, a bloated face apart from a bloated body. So even that can happen. Stress.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Right?
That's a big one.
So all of us, who's not stressed in today's day and age? I see a 6-year-old also stressed now, they have so much FOMO, you know. So stress is a big one because your cortisol will increase, your catecholamines will increase, all the negative hormones will increase. The good hormones, which are supposed to sort of build, your collagen, they will decrease. And when we say stress, it could just be overthinking. It does not have to be feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling hurtful. It can just be, why didn't my buy come home today? Or why
anything can trigger. Anything can trigger a stress.
The body doesn't understand
response.
that. It's, and the response is going to be negative. And when that happens, it's all again a hormone play.
Yeah.
And then again, there's breakdown of collagen. And so your skin will not remain healthy. There is inflammation. So if there's inflammation, your skin barrier will not be healthy. Then if your barrier breaks down, your skin becomes sensitive. Then you're getting allergies. Then you're getting, you get exposed to anything, products that you were using earlier, now you can't use. It's stinging because your barrier has gone for a toss. So all of that happens. You get eczemas. You get, but doc, earlier I was, okay with this leather. How come now? Now, because, you haven't taken care of your skin. It's a trigger.
What about sugar, white sugar? Which a lot of people say that, I've got a sweet tooth, but I eat only one piece of barfi every day or 2 pedas every day.
So that they don't realize that one piece of barfi and peda is, in 2 ways it's damaging you. If you have a tendency for acne, your insulin-like growth factor 1 is increasing. And if that is increasing, it is, triggering that whole cascade of stimulating all the different organs and finally reaching the oil gland to produce more sebum. So you will get more acne. The other thing is, it is accumulating. So the process of glycation is increasing and it's accumulating more and more age products. And those advanced glycation end products, which are toxins. I love to use the word toxins now, although in our medical dictionary, there's nothing like toxin. But that's accumulating. And when that's accumulating, there is more inflammation and the collagen breakdown happening. So your barrier is going for a toss. Your upper layers, your stratum corneum is also depleting. Your skin barrier is going for a toss. Your lipids and cholesterol and all the brick and mortar, ingredients, the natural moisturizing factors, they are going. There is more transepidermal water loss. So there's always a little bit of water which is lost from your skin, right? But that increases, and your collagen breaks down, your elastin fibers break down. So where are we winning? By having sugar. Okay, we all maybe wanting, you can have maybe a cheat meal of once in a week. Now that cheat meal once in a week doesn't mean 10 chocolates that day. It's like you can have
and sugar in any form is not good, right? It is not only the sweets that we mentioned, but whether you take 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar in your tea or coffee every morning and afternoon, that adds up. And the compounding effect is very, very negative.
Very negative. And so the same with jaggery.
Dr. Jaishree, you've been practicing for many years now. You've seen various trends come and go. Today we have, I call them ChatGPT babies, who will ask everything to, ChatGPT or any LLM model to give them advice, etc. In your practice so far, which has been that funny incident that has happened where you couldn't help but laugh? Of course, maybe not openly, but inside you were dying to break out into a big laughter.
Very recently, somebody came and she spoke so much science, and I said, "Are you a doctor?" And she said, "You need to give me 2 ml in my chin, doc, and you need to put even the type of filler, this over here, I need this profile view, so you need to put so much on my." I was very impressed, and I'm like, "Are you a doctor? Have you studied?" And she said, "No, ChatGPT told me." ChatGPT has asked her to put 8 syringes of filler on her chin. 8 syringes on her chin. And the entire number came to 26 syringes.
Oh my God.
I'm like, do you even know what this means? 26 ml of hyaluronic acid, which is going to become 10 times its amount.
You're
You're going to become a pumpkin.
So she believed in
She believed in it 100%. And she said, no, this is what I want. Sad to say she's not come back because I refused. You know, as a dermatologist, I also treat kids, right? And I've treated generations, like 3 generations. Mothers come, the daughters come. Now the daughter's daughter has a rash. I can't imagine the kind of trauma that kids go through when they have pimples on their face.
I think there is a lot of bullying also that happens.
They get fully bullied. They get bullied. They don't want to step out. They don't want to make friends. They don't want to go and, you know, for anything. You know, they don't want to go and have food in the mess. I've seen kids lose weight. You know, like 10 kilos. They shut down. And so when you treat them and in a way that you have to do it very sweetly because they're all teenagers, tender. And so when you do that in a way that you befriend them, the mother says, oh, he should not have this. You'll say, okay, let him have pani puri. It's all right. Okay? I will say, have a pizza, but maybe not a maida pizza. Maybe a multigrain pizza with less cheese in it. Right? But I will say, don't have a burger. You know, like it's got all the fried whatever. I'll say, don't have sugar maybe. So maybe give him a sugar-free or give her a sugar-free sweet once in a while, or let him have an ice cream once. Let him live life. Let her live life. So don't put too many restrictions, but at the same time, navigate it in a way that the acne is getting cured. They turn from caterpillars into butterflies. You know? And then suddenly you've seen this confident person. The other day, somebody walked in. Hey, Dr. Jaishree, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at her, this is the same person. She was such a shy girl.
She blossomed.
You know? She blossomed. And I felt so proud of myself, if I'm allowed to say that.
Of course.
I was like, you know, wow. I mean, there's no miraculous thing that I did. But just by seeing her happy and confident, I felt so happy. You know, I've got tears in my eyes. Because it's like,
oh my God, that's lovely. No, it is lovely to see somebody regaining their confidence and going out there in the world.
It also happens with aesthetic treatments, mind you.
So what about the red light LED masks and all you get, or this sauna where you lie down with all the red light, on your skin? How beneficial is that? Or is it just a passing trend?
No, it's not a passing trend. You have to see the wavelength. So it has to be between 630 to 640 nanometers, 633 most apt. And that does stimulate your collagen and, production. So it does help with rejuvenation of skin. It also helps with wound repair. Now there are so many in the market and they don't meet with this specification, this particular wavelength, even though they mention something.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaishree, for giving us so much information about skin. And I really applaud the fact that you're not only looking at science, but also at the art of at whatever you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here with you, Aditi.
Thank you.
And I love your podcasts and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.